Welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast. Yo, it's that Triforce cast beaming straight to your home. Grab a beer so we know Pone ain't drinking alone. Send an email, a quick tweet, just pick up the phone. Leave a message at the beep if you're a creep, watch your tone. Discuss the meta game, patch notes, whatever helps your stats most. Obi-Pone Kenobi is your last hope to snatch gold. So grab your headphones and join in the fun. We'll try and force in some jokes and some cringeworthy puns. Yo, we can make it together, people. Trinity Force Podcast. These boys are second to none. Now that's the end of the intro. It's time we begun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 867 of the Trinity Force Podcast. I am your host, Erik, and tonight, it's been a few weeks since we recorded, so we're gonna do our usual banter and shit, and then we have our holiday episode that we do every year, where we go over some of our predictions from the previous year about things that we either think will happen / want to see. Did those come true? Did those did those not come true? Jesus. And then also we have some new things that we want to see, some of which might well be repeats, some of which are going to be new things. And then also, time permitting, we also want to talk a bit about what are the issues that are leading to League having long-term longevity and / why are they bleeding? Why is it bleeding people / not getting newer people? It's all the same sort of issue that the population is not necessarily growing, it's shrinking. With not knowing numbers coming from China because we can't see those, but yeah. Let's get right into it. Colin, how are you doing? It's been a few weeks. What's been going on? Any cool, exciting stuff? What's been going on, man?
Yeah, it's been a minute for sure. Most exciting thing in my life recently is that I got engaged on the 23rd.
Woo!
My girlfriend. So it's pretty exciting.
We're all clapping, but not actually clapping so that we don't blow out the microphones.
Sure. It's very exciting. Went out for supper. Went out to get some ice cream at her favorite little ice cream place in town, and that is where I did it.
Nice.
And yeah, thankfully she said yes.
Okay.
It's a big part of it, of course.
Very cool. How nervous were you?
Not that nervous. She was on to me, and we already kind of talked about it.
What do you mean she was on to you? Were you just acting a bit off the whole night, or what was happening?
I guess it was the weekend. So that was on Monday. So it was during the weekend that she got on to me because we were at a wedding, and she told the bride there and a few of the girls that she was hanging out with that she thought I was going to do it the next day, which I did.
Okay. So, either she's a psychic or you're a bad actor then, or bad at hiding things. Don't know.
The ring was well hidden, but maybe I had a few choice words.
Sure.
Let's slip away.
Sure.
Yeah, but that is my biggest news. Besides that, nothing too crazy going on in life. Working away, playing a bit of League here and there, not too much. Played a few games today. All wins, thankfully, which is almost all wins, one loss. But that's a change from my usual games this season, which have mostly been losses.
Yeah, I can see that you lost a Hecarim game and then won 4 Yasuo games today.
Yep. Yeah, the Yasuo games were great. Just top lane, Blade of the Rune King. It was a lot better than playing a mid.
You're evil. Actually, though, then again, you faced a Tryndamere and a Garen and a Gwen and a Sion. So, okay, fair.
I faced the first game, Tryndamere and Garen should both beat me, but it went well, so it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it for me. I guess Goose, what's going on with you, man?
Nothing much. Just being a dad, playing a little bit of League, playing some other games. Just hoping I can get Diamond here. I think I got like a week and a half to get that done.
Yeah. What other games have you been playing?
I've been playing some Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2.
Sure.
Been playing a little bit of Zombies still on Call of Duty. Let's see, what else did I play? I think that's it. I think that's all I've been playing in the last couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I know you've been pretty busy with life and haven't played nearly as much League as you used to. I've been looking at our profiles as we've been talking, and it was a very short way to scroll down to 7 days ago was a match, and then before that, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So cool. Okay. How is Warhammer? I've heard that it's pretty sweet from the videos, at least I see.
Yeah, the Space Marine 2 game is pretty dope.
Nice.
It's on pause a little bit at the moment because my computer isn't really running it very well. So we're gonna have to. I'm looking at upgrading here shortly, hopefully.
Sure. Cool.
My computer is 10 years old.
Damn.
Yeah, that was the same for me. I just got my upgrade. It feels a million times better. I can play games that I wasn't able to before, and that's just very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I can still play Space Marine 2. It just takes like 8 minutes to load in the screens and stuff, and I just don't have time to be sitting in loading screens.
Yeah. Yeah, we all got those short attention spans. If it's not done in 10 seconds, then we're gonna lose our shit.
Yep.
I had a 10-minute queue today for a Norms game. I don't know what was going on there. That's the longest queue I've had in a long time.
I had one yesterday that was, or maybe 2 days ago. It was it that one? Okay, yeah, that was that one. Yeah, we were in low priority, but yeah, it was like 14 minutes or something. So I did, yeah, I left the previous one accidentally. Like I didn't pay attention to the time what was happening. And then we were in low priority and it took like 15 minutes. It was annoying.
Then we win or lose that game in like 15 minutes.
We won that game. We absolutely fucking crushed them.
Yeah, we waited 20 minutes to get into a game to win in like 15.
Yeah. Yeah, which one was that? I'm just trying to see. I remember I played Vel'Koz.
Oh, that was the game you played, Brandt.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Dirty brand abuser.
Well,
it was Brand Nami.
Yeah, Brand Nami bot.
Oh, that's gross. I like it though.
Huh. Oh, there it was. Yeah, 3 days ago. Yep. Yeah, we won. I think, if I remember right, our top side of the map just absolutely fucking pummeled them. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, my brother was playing Kiana.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Well, since you guys asked, I'm doing well as well. I I've been playing a decent bit of League. I didn't have any work this week, and I don't have work on Monday nor Wednesday of next week. For those who are wondering, it's like this is the week of Christmas right now. We're in 24 when we're recording this, and then so I have those days off. Just the university's closed, so it's free holidays for me. I don't have to take PT or anything, which is really nice. I am working Tuesday, but only because I traded that as a holiday for the 23rd, so I could travel on that day. But yeah, that's why I'm working Tuesday, but not Monday nor Wednesday. It's very weird. But yeah, I've been playing League a decent bit. I've been struggling with trying to play my juggernauts in top lane. It has not been going all that well. However, I'm having pretty good success with mages in general. Like the last game that I guess I played volleyball. Before that, I played a Vex game and was 13-2, and Vor and I were just destroying the map. And then before that, I played a Vel'Koz game and was 18-2. Yeah, it was pretty good. Other things, I have also been playing other games. I mean, I'm still playing EU4 some, but I've been playing a good bit of Cyberpunk 2077 since I got it on sale not too long ago. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I'm like 15 or so hours in, maybe a little bit less because there's been some idle time when I've not been at the computer, but Steam still counts that I'm playing it. It's pretty cool. I like it. I didn't realize it was going to be it's got an element of like GTA to it, where it's a big city and a lot of it's like vehicle transit in between different places for different missions. But I have a couple of augments on my character where I can dash and then double jump, and I can dash in midair. So I'm actually going faster than most cars just by sprint, dash, jump, and do the boosted jump and then dash through midair. And if I time that right, I'm barely off the ground. So then it's just like scooting really fast, like 40, 50 miles an hour. It's pretty fun. I'm still not sure I like where the story's going, but we'll see. I'm not that far into the story at all.
I've only heard good things since they fixed the game.
Yeah, the game runs really well. I've had no crashes. I've had no issues in terms of frames dropping or weird bugs. The only thing I could say was like there was a waitress, and when I was sitting in a cutscene in a restaurant, that she was like walking back, and then she would like teleport or something like that, and then would walk back a couple times, like pretend to be talking to a table. But it was just, I think, like I don't really know, but that's the only weird thing I've seen. I haven't seen any other bugs with it. So, because I mean, we all remember how that game was supposed to be great, and then it came out and absolutely it was broken. It was near, and a lot of people could not run the damn thing when they were supposed to be able to as well. But it's a lot better now. So yeah. Other than that, I also finished the Nunu and Willump game finally. It took me several months, not because it's not interesting, just because there's a lot of dialogue and stuff happening, so it's very mentally taxing to play through. Plus, it also makes me want to go play League, so that's also why I didn't get through that much of it. But it was really cool. I did the boss fight against Lysandra. It was pretty sweet. I also realized how combat friendly that game is, because I had not in any of the combats before. I had not died, but I did die in this one. But if you die, basically Nunu hops off of Willump. Willump's on the ground, and then you walk over and you press a button. I was using an Xbox controller, so I press X, and then Nunu's like, "Get up, Willump," in a cutscene where you can't take damage, and then you get back up with 3/4 health. And I died again, and it was still 3/4 health. So every time you can just infinitely revive, I'm sure, at 3/4 health. So, but I mean, it's not meant to be a combat-heavy game. It's meant to be a story. It's meant to be an exploration. It's meant to move the lore forward. So it makes sense, but I thought that, oh, I might have to restart the boss fight or something like that. Did not. But it's very
Nice.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Just quickly on games, I am also playing games. I played Darkest Dungeon for the first time. Got a bit of that into me, and that's pretty fun. It's like a side scroller, go through a dungeon, get loot, fight enemies, and try not to go insane. And then playing me and my now fiance started a Unravel 2 run. A couple sessions into that, but not too far.
What is
That's been fun.
Unraveled 2? I've never heard of that one
Unravel
before.
2, it's just kind of like it's a side scroller. You're two little yarn people, and you're just making your way through obstacles and little enemies.
Oh, okay.
So,
Interesting. It looks like it looks a lot like. Are you playing it on? What are you playing it on? Like
I'm
Switch
playing
or?
yeah, PS5.
Got it. It looks a lot like It Takes Two.
Yeah, that is
I mean,
also on
It
our
Takes Two
radar.
is
Yeah,
a 3D game. It's not a side scroller, but the art style looks very similar, at least.
yeah, that is. And then also been playing bit of Hogwarts Legacy recently.
Okay.
That's been fun. And Eric, I don't know if you saw this, but Dave the Diver DLC got announced.
I did see that. I'm all up in what's going on with Dave the Diver. I haven't played it that much lately, but I do download it to get the little. I do keep it updated to get the little extra things that you can attach, like the little keychain things to your phone, and occasionally dive in. No pun intended, but yeah, I imagine I'll be um, getting back into it again soon for that, and yeah, just because it's so fun. I love it. It's also just so peaceful. So probably next season, early on in League, when I don't want to be playing ranked or anything, then I'll be like, I'm gonna go play Dave the Diver. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, let's talk about some of the things that we wanted and whether or not they actually came true. So, I didn't go, for the record, everybody, I did not go back through and listen to everything like I do in most years. But so if you do want to go back and check it out, I don't remember exactly what episode it is. I would wager it's about 30 episodes ago, maybe 40 is when we recorded it, but don't have it off the top of my head. So go back and listen to that if you want to actually be able to understand everything that we asked for to see if it really came to fruition. But otherwise, we just kind of chatted before this to see what we remembered. So the first thing, I guess the quickest one was, for years I've been asking for map skins. There's still no map skins. There's no indication they're going to do any of it. It's not going to happen. there's too many coding issues, or they just don't want to do it. But it's not really that big of a deal. It doesn't affect balance or anything. So, Colin asked for customizable and or purchasable fonts for in-game effects, so ones that change. Basically, you could change the fonts. What was your example that you gave? Samir or something?
It's Smear's. I think it's our ultimate skin, Soul Fighter.
Sure.
That has unique ones and really nice. I like the crit on it. It's very nice.
Okay. Cool.
Another one that we asked for. Oh gosh, I just slipped my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You keep going, Eric. I'll try to think of it again.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember us complaining a lot and wanting a Grievous Wounds overhaul. And I think that still echoes even more true now, because I think Grievous Wounds are in an even worse spot now than they were 12 months ago. So, very much so. They feel very underwhelming. The completed items feel like garbage. There's almost not a point to upgrading, to completing the damn item. And for a lot of champions, there's not a great one to get. You just sit on the component, or I don't know, supports especially have a really, unless you're a mage support, have a really rough time adding any grievous wounds to a lineup. Goose, does that seem like your experience as well?
Yeah, all the Grievous Wounds items suck. I mean, it's like not even worth buying them half the time, even like just Executioner's Calling or the Oblivion Orb.
Yeah.
You find the support one good at all? Isn't there support one?
There's only
I have
There's
never
not.
There's
built
only
that.
There's not even a support.
There used to be
There used to be.
Chemtech Putrifier, but they removed that because the reason that they gave is that it basically made supports into, you must be the anti-healed person. It basically caged them into that. So
I feel
then
like that's a support role, to be honest.
somewhat, but also instead of fixing it so that other characters might want to buy it, they instead just removed it. So now that it's not even an option to have a support do it, unless you're Brand, Zyra, you know, any sort of mage really is the the easiest ones that can do it. Otherwise, they can't really do it much at all. Leona can't buy it. Alistar can't buy. I mean, they could buy a fucking Bramble vest, but what's that going to do? Who in the why would anyone, if they see that, why would they be hitting Alistar or Leona or anything? Yeah. I remember
found my other one here. It was voice comms.
Yep. Still not
Which
a thing.
I did see. I saw a video of there's a developer talking, and they're re-looking at the idea of it.
Oh.
Not that that means much, but
yeah,
at least they're looking at it.
I don't have much hope, but that would be cool if they were in. Yeah, or at the very least, yeah, I don't know. It would be cool. That being said, I bet you that Discord is lobbying hard at them not to, or other chat or other apps, because then if they have their own voice in it, it renders it not needed. Other ones.
Yeah, they could also partner. Not that I would see League doing this, but partner with Discord and have Discord run it in game.
Yeah, that could be cool, actually. I trust Discord to do it well, not Riot. Have you guys ever tried to use League chat?
Yeah, it's awful.
It's terrible.
Like the lobby chat?
Yeah.
Or no, never.
I think it goes away once you're in game. It's only before game, too.
No, it's available in game.
Is
you
it?
Have to activate it. Yeah, it's just awful.
And you have to be in the party with the people too. Yeah. Because if you wanted to, yeah, exactly. It's crap.
So they have it in game, but just the worst version.
They did trial voice chat in League of Legends. I believe it was in China.
How did it go? Do you know?
Awful. Exactly as expected.
Just lots of racist kids yelling at each other.
Yeah, I think I read an article about it. It was like a opt-in trial. So you had to go through and opt into it and everything, and it put you in capabilities to use it, and it was some 80+% of negative reviews from it.
Wow. I will say that if you I would bet that if it wasn't an opt-in and everybody just had it in front of them by default like they do in Valorant, you wouldn't get it to that level, because then I imagine some people who are wanting to tell their teammates what they think is right to do or vent their angers, this is a way for them to do it. Don't know.
think it's ever gonna happen. It's just
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue with it is like, let's say you have 5 people on one team that'll have voice chat, and then you have 3 people on the other team. You're automatically at a competitive disadvantage, so they're never gonna do it.
But they allow different, like pre-made fives can get matched against other non-pre-made fives in flex and in
Yeah, but
norms.
flex doesn't matter.
Sure.
It's all about like solo queue. Like that's what drives League of Legends is solo queue.
Yeah. That's fair.
And ARAM.
And ARAM too, to some extent. Yeah. It'd be cool to have it in ARAM then. They could try it just putting it in there.
Yeah,
That
the
just
for
seems even
fun
worse.
game mode.
I think it would be cool.
I think if they do it, they should
Have
just
you ever seen voice chat in ARAM? It's worse than ranked.
Chat
put
in
it
there? I
higher
think it's so
elos.
much
Text
more.
chat.
Yeah, you could try higher elo. Well, that's what they have. I was going to say Champions Queue, but Champions Queue, they've already pre-selected and vetted everybody that goes into that. So never mind.
And it's not around anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they got rid of that like 2 seasons ago. Everybody quit using it.
Oh, okay. So I know at least in Europe it's still being used some because I heard Baus saying that he just got added to Champions Queue like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they got rid of it back in North America because everybody quit playing on it.
Sure.
Because it was the queue times were super late at night, and it was like only available a couple days a week.
There's not enough pros in North America or streamers that want to do it. Yeah.
It was like Core JJ was fronting the whole thing, and the moment he kind of lost interest, it died.
That's unfortunate. Oh well. Such is the state of North American professional League of Legends. Okay. Then the only other thing that I guess, unless you guys think of other ones, one of the other ones that we thought that I remember that us talking about last year was that, or at least this summer maybe, but removing rank tiers and just actually have it as a ladder because that's what it actually is nowadays, especially since there's no promotion, demotion series, or shielding for the most part. So it basically is just an actual ladder. So just get rid of the damn colors and assign uh, assign it as a ladder. And then they could give out rewards based on percentile if they want to, but you don't need to say like silver, gold. I know that it's maybe a dopamine hit, but it's like disingenuous to what it actually is now.
Erik, I like my border.
But then you get to see people like talking down to others like, oh, you're garbage, you're hard stuck diamond, and then actually I was getting shit talk to someone who was saying he was bronze 4, like a true bronze 4, and saying like learn to do this or learn to do that, you're bad. But yeah, like that sort of shit that's one less way for people to flame one another, and I don't think it would realistically change the number of people or the reasons why people play ranked. I don't think.
I mean, next year when we move to the 2 split where there's no reset in between the splits, it's basically going to be an MMR system.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So maybe they'll actually. So I guess they've kind of done what we were asking for, kind of not. Somewhere in there. Okay. Anything else that we can think of for old, or should we go on to new?
Into the new.
All right.
I don't know.
Cool. Colin, what you munching on?
Lindor chocolate.
Ooh.
The Christmas chocolates.
Oh, nice. Okay, so my first one is rework Shyvana. She's been supposedly been. I think honestly, they might have been starting her rework before COVID, and I don't think I'm lying on that either.
2018 was when the vote was.
Was it actually?
When she won, and they decided to do Skarner anyway.
Okay. Well, did they decide to do both, or I mean, they were prioing Skarner,
No,
but
because Shyvana won.
Yep.
Mundo was second. Skarner was third. Skarner came first, then Mundo. Or I guess sorry, Mundo came first. They were working on Skarner first, then Mundo came out, then Skarner came out.
Right, and
they did a revote afterwards, and Shyvana won again.
And I think Quinn came in second for a couple of these too. But I remember them pushing, yeah, like those, they took longer because they were midway through Udyr at the time when those votes were happening. So not happening immediately makes sense, yeah. And I think the by and large these reworks have been successful, but Skarner's took way too fucking long to come out. Uh, Same with when they did Volley's rework years ago. But yeah, and you were saying that Shyvana's is not even going to come out in 25. They said 26 at the earliest, right?
They're saying late 26 was the last article that I seen about it.
What the
So it's probably
fuck?
not till 27.
Oh
Yes,
my.
they're gonna put out 6 champions in that time.
I think a problem they're having, this is a possible issue, is I wonder, because Shyvana's such an old champion, I wonder if some of her code is used for a lot of other champions. And so rewriting her code would also cause rewriting of other champions.
Kind of what happened with Skarner, why it delayed it so long because they
Yeah.
had to disentangle it. Yeah. That could be. I bet dragons might be coded in with her, actually.
Maybe.
Oh my god. Well,
I'm sure there's a lot of spaghetti to untangle in there.
yeah, I remember hearing about it, yeah, with Skarner, and then for complexity of coding, like Silas and Viego were tough, but that was more their abilities. Skarner, it was just all sorts of arcane shit relied on his code. God damn it. Okay, well, yeah, Shyvana, who knows? We only say that, and I think the rest of the league community agrees, is because her thematic, theoretically, is really cool. Does not deliver at all. The voice actor is fantastic. I think the voice of Shyvana is great.
Fire.
Yeah. But like the gameplay does not match up to what she's supposed to be at all. And I get she's an old champion, but just because you're an old champion doesn't mean that you don't match up. Like they just redid Victor, but they barely redid Victor. Victor's old as shit, but he still felt like what he's supposed to feel like. Jax is another
Victor's
one.
insane, by the way.
Yeah, Victor's super good right now. Jax is
I
another
ban
one.
that
Like,
champion every game.
yeah, I'm seeing him banned all the time. I was actually in a game earlier where we had first pick and he was hovering Victor, and our support banned it anyways. I was on my other account, but yeah, just because you're an old champion doesn't mean that your thematic doesn't live up. Annie was one of the OG champions, yet she's had slight adjustments and slight updates and things, but her thematic still fits what it is. It's a girl with fire spells and a bear. It's easy. So if anyone was thinking that it's just old champions, they don't match up anymore, that's not true at all.
Well, let's just hope that they don't give her flame breath. That's like Aurelion Souls. That's all I have to ask for.
I'm gonna guess they're gonna do something crazy where she has she can either be flying over terrain or walking down on the terrain and then just be an interchangeable form swap like Nidalee and Jace have, and just the perma mobility around like that. They're gonna do something crazy like that.
I think it'd be cool to give her like elemental Drake based on the items that she's building.
Oh, interesting. So like her fire would, if she's building, magic resist, her, like if she has fire, it slows. If she's building armor, it instead
No, no. I'm saying like if she's building tank, she's like an earth dragon. If she's building damage, she's like a fire dragon. If she's building AP, she's like a lightning dragon.
So that it would be, you're talking purely in visuals or actually in how the abilities interact?
Yeah. It would change her like entire kit.
Okay, so she almost has evolutions in a way like Kai'Sa then.
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be cool. I'd be down with that. I think it'd be cool also if because elemental drakes are such an integral part of the game now, adding some way that they interact with her. Like if it happens to be an ocean map, then all of her abilities slow for 10%. If it happens to be a mountain map, she just gains 10% or 5% armor MR, for all of the different drakes, like some stat based on what they give. And she just happens to get it for free. It would raise the stakes of how she actually interacts with dragons, because right now she does 5% extra damage to dragons and gets
what? She gets them in resistance.
Yeah, 5 armor and MR per one she kills.
Yeah, I think they're gonna change the resistances. Hopefully she gets a better buff or change whenever she kills a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, her passive is going to be 3 paragraphs long, and each dragon she kills is going to give her different stat bonuses. And
She also infinitely scales and has an execute and resets.
oh yes, yes,
Yes.
There we
Make her
go.
Another dragon.
Yeah, she gains. This is her entire passive. Shyvana gains 5 bonus armor and 5 bonus MR, which are each increased by 5 for every elemental and elder dragon her team slays. Additionally, Shyvana deals 20% increased damage to dragons.
The last part's good. The first part's horrible. It's such a waste of time.
It's such a waste, but like her Aram one, does anybody know what her Aram one is? I've known because I've played it before.
Isn't it to picking up relics?
That's part of it. What does it do though? What did picking up relics do?
Give you HP? I don't know. Resistance is my guess.
Goose, what do you know?
No, I've never played Shyvana.
Okay, Shyvana gains 1 bonus armor and 1 bonus MR and 0.05 flat bonus fury regeneration whenever a siege or cannon minion dies within 1400 units range of her, or when she is healed by a health relic's area of effect on the enemy's side of the map. She will not gain the bonuses if she's dead, even in range. But
I do like the Fury generation. That makes sense for Aaron.
yeah, it does. So she's constantly jumping in. She gets her ult faster to become a real
she's
champion.
useful. No.
Right. But 1 bonus armor and MR? 1?
Hey, that's worth it.
Scales hard. Yeah.
She ends up having
Infinite
like
scaling.
7 or... Yes, it is technically infinite scaling. You're right. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we talked enough about Shyvana. So I think both of you guys agreed with this, but remove autofill and just suffer that queue times will be higher. That's something you both or some of you are in support of, yes?
Yeah, I either want to see like a removal of autofill or make it to where both autofills on each team are the same role.
I like that. That works with me.
Yeah, I don't want to get rid of autofill purely because of I'm pretty sure that it would significantly increase queue times longer than I'm personally willing to hang around with and wait 7-8 minutes for a game, if not higher, to get the roles that I would want. Unless you select 3 priority roles as opposed to 2. If it's 3, then you're much less likely to have these autofill issues. But yeah, totally. If anyone's autofilled, it should be the exact same positions. 100%. The duos also duos should be the exact same positions as well. If there's going to be any duos.
I wish bot lane would just get rid of duos. Like you can't duo bot.
Yeah, that would be sweet too. I think we talked about this last year as well.
Yeah, it's just such a noticeable difference between a duo and 2 solos in bot lane. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. Even mid jungle, it's not the same. Okay. Let's see. Colin, you said release new champions with simpler kits. Like, whose
Just
kits
like,
are too complicated for you?
It's not that they're. It's a lot of text. I don't know. And best when she came out, but like now, like you understand, you learn them after like a week and it's fine. But Bessa came out, there's a lot there to read and like get used to.
I mean, Skarner's the same way too.
Skarner has a lot to him as well. Skarner's still
Cassante,
super good. Cassante is the worst out of everybody for this.
by far.
Yeah.
I think Skarner's pretty good right now. Yeah, he's in I'll go Plat Plus, about a 50% win rate with a 3% pick rate.
I feel like I
So
would just like to play a new champion, and then when I look at the passive, it's like Nasus, and it says gain this, or like Timo W movement speed.
yeah, Skarner's passive, for the record, is actually quite short. But I don't think most people know what it does. Do either of you know what it actually does?
No idea.
Let me just get the actual thing up. Here. So it's actually not that long. I'll just read it verbatim. Skarner's basic attacks on hit his Q, like when he has the boulder, his autos, when he throws the boulder, and his R all apply a stack of quaking to enemies hit for 4 seconds, refreshing on subsequent applications and stacking up to 3 times. So his W does not apply this. And enemies afflicted with 3 stacks take magic damage equal to 5 to 9% of their max health over the duration, and there's a cap against monsters. It's pretty short. He does dot to enemies though with his passive.
Yeah, I would never guess that he had a dot in his kit.
Yeah.
Kind of strange for a giant scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
He's got stingers against poison.
Yeah,
DOT.
poison. Yeah, sure.
That's true. He does.
Because he has a lot of poison in his kit.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, he's basically singed. I think in Arcane, Singe was experimenting on Skarner.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
For sure.
I visibly can't tell the difference between them either. Yeah.
Because Skarner's only the size of a fucking mountain.
Yeah, I'm looking at the relative sizes and stuff. Good lord, the different splash arts show just. It's the same thing. He's so much larger than everything else around
I just
him.
think they should stop releasing champions for a while and just focus on updating old ones.
That would be
Indeed.
nice.
Yep.
Side note.
What is there? 150? You do not need more.
161.
Yeah, if you're gonna release them with your new TV shows.
169 actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Also, side note: Skarner has not gotten a skin since November of 2020.
Battlecast.
No, Cosmic Sting.
Oh yeah.
And there was also Guardian of the Sands before Battlecast. But Battlecast was 2014, Guardian of the Sands 2015, then he got 2020, and then nothing else. He's gotten one skin in the last decade.
Yeah, I played a game with Kled recently. You were in that game, Eric, and he's been out since 2016, and he has 4 skins.
Wow.
What is that?
So let me think. Let me see if I can name them all. He has like the Halloween one, like Bewitching Kled or something.
Count Kled Dealer?
Yep. There's the
Marauder.
Oh sure, I didn't think of that one. Then there's also the one where it's like not an April Fool's, but like an animal one. It's like Kled as a cat or a dog, and it's like one of those. You know what I'm talking about?
It's the dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Kibblehead.
Sure.
One like Captain Kled or whatever.
Oh, and Captain Kled, yeah. That one's so boring.
I don't know what it's called, but it's like his release skin.
It might be called. Let me look him up and see.
Sir Kled. There's 4 skins in 8 years.
Sir Kled.
Come on. Obviously, you got to put out skins for the champs. People like to buy skins for. Play a lot, but.
Yeah. I was just looking when. Oh my god, Vel'Koz came out in 2014. Jesus. I was curious when was the last time he got a skin, but it was last November. Because came out. I hate that skin. Okay, so newer, simple kits. We don't need to go on ad nauseum about that. Because they got better. I will say they got better at that for a bit, like releasing pointed kits that do specific things. Like Melio, not a super complex kit, does what it does it well. Vex, another one, not super complex, does what it does it well, and there's very clear weaknesses and strengths. I
guess I'm just suffering from Cassante stuff.
Yeah, Cassante, I think they should delete the champion and refund everything. It would help a lot. Or, I don't know, it's such a cool idea, and his lore is really cool, his stories are really cool, but in-game, it's absolutely fucking disgusting and frustrating. Yeah, even Zeri looks not overtuned compared to Cassante. Or Neela with all of her shit that's just passively baked in. Okay, all right, I have an idea, which I didn't bring up before, but what do you guys think of, so every month, 50%, so this applies to ranked solo queue only. Every month, only 50% of the champs can be used in ranked, and it's a random selection of 50% of the champions. So instead of 169, there's, I don't know, that would be 90 or 89 champions. Only 90 can be picked, or I guess 80 or something, whatever. Only 80 champions can be picked, and it's like there's an icon that shows whether they're there, and they all show up in when you're in solo queue, but you can't pick outside of those.
I feel like you're gonna make a lot of OTPs very, very upset.
They do something like that
I
in
get what
Valorant
you're
though.
saying,
With Valorant, they do it with maps.
the
So like in
rotation. Yeah.
and they do it with other games in maps and stuff. Like in when you're playing those ranked, if you're playing norms, everything is open. If you're playing or like the for fun game modes or anything. But if you're playing like a ranked, only some of the maps are available. So then only some of the champions are available. Maybe they phase out a quarter of the champions, perhaps. Then, but I think it'd be at least something cool to try. I don't know if it would work. It was just a thought I had.
It would make more variety in the game.
It would.
Um,
Yeah. Brendan, do you have any thoughts on that? I think it's a terrible idea.
No, I mean, it's a good idea in thought. I think in practice, it makes the game not fun.
Sure. Yeah, I guess it would really hurt if like someone only plays 2 champions and both of those champions happen to be out. Then
Yeah.
either they're playing ranked and just trolling or not playing something that they can actually play. Yeah, that would be an issue. Sure.
They just need to give us more bans.
Yeah,
Yeah, up to the 10 bands. Why not?
2 bans apiece. I'm down for that. Or if 2 people ban the same thing, then it bans another random champion or something. Don't know. Do you think it'd be cool if it's like you like in solo queue, let's say you can't play the same champion 2 games in a row. It doesn't let you. So like, bans go through and let's say I played Vel'Koz, then next game Vel'Koz is grayed out for me only. No.
I'm kind of like an OTP, so I don't really like rules against OTPs.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely a player who I find a champ I like. I'll spam it for 100 games.
Yeah.
We'll get the next one that I like.
Sure.
But
I get
like the idea, make people play more things. Like that's always good.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be as impacted because like in solo queue, let's see, how many games of solo queue have I actually played? Where did it go? Specifically for solo queue, I've played 93 games and I have played 40 different champions. I've also played every role, but like I've played 17 different junglers across all the jungle games I've played. I've played 12 different top laners and 13 different people in mid. I've only played 5 people in bot. And 5 supports too. But yeah, so I don't know. I play more champions than most people, I think, perhaps.
I think one problem that could happen, like usually people, even OTPs, they'll have their secondary pick. Like you won't pick your AD jungler or mid laner whenever like your whole team's AD. You'll pick your AP character. So like if you played your AD one the first game and then it's banned for you the next game, but your whole team picks AP characters, then you're locked into your second pick.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Not a great idea as we talk through. One
Yeah,
more.
what the hell, Eric?
Yeah, I know. God damn it. I'm just the worst. Another thing that I thought could be cool, I've heard developers say that they think the players want it, but they actually don't, is a 100% complete hard reset of everyone's MMR in all modes, or at least solo queue specifically. Like a hard reset. It would fuck up matchmaking for a few months, but then for people who believe that they're lower than they should be, or people who are higher than they should be, it would filter those to where people actually should be in the modern day game.
Maybe it's a good idea. Make everyone be in the rank they should be in.
It would
Closer.
make matchmaking hell though for
Better.
the first couple months
Yeah.
or so.
The first one I had, everyone gets put in the gold and they have iron players versus challenger players.
Yeah. Goose, you're laughing. Don't like my idea?
I think it artificially gets fixed with not having the reset in between the splits.
Yeah, because then everyone slowly continues to filter to where they're going to be. I never even thought about that. Sure.
So they're already doing it then.
I mean, that's what happens in normals. Like normals, because it never changes. People are probably most accurately placed in normals, I would bet, because the other two change and go down every time. Okay, that's all that I had for newer things. Do you guys have anything else that you would want to see in the next future in general?
All random, all mid. No, that's what we have. Well,
Yeah.
the game mode where everyone's the same champion on your team,
Oh,
but it's ARAM.
one for all.
One for all
One for
ARAM.
all
I would
ARAM.
see that.
I
Yeah.
like doing
I was
the.
thinking about that earlier today.
Yeah, I hate one for all in Summoner's Rift, but I'm totally down for it in ARAM.
I'm disappointed in your net.
What? Why?
He
You don't
has yet to say the removal of Rylai's.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
I usually leave to the end, you know.
Well, yeah, he's saving
So
that for the next
the last
question,
thing
which
people hear.
I guess will also segue right into that then is so we're slowly starting to wrap up the podcast, and I mean, in the title of this you'll see spoiler alert, this is going to be our second to last planned episode. So we wanted to think about, because some of this is like things that we're observing, some of it is not, but what are some of the issues to League long term? What's the barriers to new people entering, if there are any, and how large are they? And then why is it, like in our perception at least, or at least in mine, bleeding people? So Colin thinks Rylai's. Why?
Yeah, so Rise is just slowing down the game,
Ho ho
grinding to a halt.
ho!
Oh, I know, pretty good. I hate that item. It's completely boring. Why does it give so much HP? Remove from the game. Thank you. Or bring back Frozen Mallet, and then it's okay.
I did see a
Frozen Mallet is
video
sick.
of them saying that they can't. Bringing back Frozen Mallet is a problem because Frozen Mallet, when it's good, it's fantastic and way too overpowered. And but it was only still viable on a very subset of champions. So maybe they change it in a different way. But like
I just want to build on the ass again. That's it.
Frozen Mallet was so fun. Like it hardly ever felt like this is the best item for me to be building, but it was fun. Building that on Teemo, so much fun.
You're a fucking nasty human.
Yeah, bleed and slid. It's great.
Imagine building that on AD Scion though. Now you turn into zombie form and your autos slow them,
Oh,
and
they're
you have
slow.
phase rush
That'd be
going
crazy.
too.
Yeah.
You get Prowler's Claw back.
Yeah.
What about a game mode where they
They'll never
have
come back.
all of
sadly.
these? They have these actives in the game that are just not in ranked.
It's never gonna happen.
I know.
What was the game of the Blitz or 2v2v2s? Yeah, 2v2v2s. That's the closest they'll get to bringing back.
Yeah, that's
Arena.
that's
Arena,
Arena.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They have said that they're looking into and have been open in the past to bringing back Deathfire Grasp. I think that will come back actually, just in a different format, perhaps. I bet it won't be point and click. I bet it'll be a.
Isn't an item like that coming next year?
Is it? Have they released
like
a slate of?
It's Black Cleaver AP version.
No, I thought there was another one that was like, oh, it's the ultimate one. That's like
that's
Arcanist. It's not an item.
That's a
it's
rune. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this rune?
So it does, probably amongst other things that it also does, it reduces the cooldown of your ultimate a little bit, and I think it does more damage to champions, and it'll mark them like you do extra damage to them for a few seconds. Something like that. Let me see if I can find it. Axiom Arcanist.
It's Axiom Arc.
Yeah.
For mages.
Okay, so Axiom Arcanist. Your ultimate has 12% increased damage, healing, and shielding. AoE damage is instead 8. Scoring a takedown on an enemy champion reduces your ultimate's current cooldown by 7%. That's it. That's the current version. As of a month ago, I'm finding this on the Singed Mains subreddit. That's such a degenerate place to be. I feel bad for
Yes,
going
it
here.
is.
You might want to go take a shower.
I know. I feel dirty. Okay, so other than Rylai's, what
I guess I do have one more that's not
yeah,
Rallies.
go for it.
Like especially with like Arcane being out recently and like new people trying League because of the show and like whatever other reason. People come in and they play a norms game where you're by yourself in a lane and then you get dumpstered 10 games in a row and you never play the game again. So why would you bother? I think that ARAM should be the place to send new players. Like the game, like the client should direct you to play ARAMs at the start because it's much more enjoyable
Yeah,
as a new player, at least in my opinion.
I like that. That would help. I did see that like some news stories on like not gaming places, but like actual real news sources that after Arcane, even though it's been a huge hit, uh, a lot of player accounts were created, but almost none of them have any sort of player retention nor money spend either. So Arcane is actually a net loss in terms of economics, pure economics. Riot people came out and said that they think that there's more to it than just the dollars and cents of if they manage to turn a profit on it to offset the production costs, but which I may or may not be true, not sure. But yeah, most people who picked it up because of Arcane, interestingly, you brought that up, didn't stick with it at all.
I have a gripe with Arcane.
Okay, go.
If you watch Arcane and you do not know what League of Legends is, you still do not know what League of Legends is after watching Arcane. There is no form of like informing you. It's just Riot Games. It has no tie to League of Legends when you watch Arcane.
Okay, so you think it should, or is it? So do you think it should for the betterment of League? If so, definitely. Should it at all, though?
I think like when you load up an episode of Arcane, it tells you that it's by Riot Games, but it does not tell you like inspired by the game of League of Legends. So like if you're going to use Arcane as a marketing ploy to get new players, you failed because without googling where Arcane came from, you will never know that it's a game.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because definitely a lot of people just opened up Netflix and was like, "Oh, what is this show?" And,
hmm
no clue.
I think why well, yes, they probably should have had at least a line in there that's like inspired by, uh, the world of League of Legends or something like that.
No, it's because they fired all their marketing people and their marketing sucks.
Yeah, it definitely does. Also, the next movie that they're working on or like TV show is live action stuff. No, don't go there. Just stay animated.
Yeah.
I don't need to
Right,
see
animated
someone
good
dress
plan,
up as Ezreal. No thanks.
You can just go to Comic-Con.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what that's for. And cool for those people that do that. That's not what a TV show should be
Yeah,
for
like
this.
with something like League of Legends, like you can just do so much more with the animated with the characters.
Yeah,
Like
and
I don't want to see like a live action Zed. I want to see someone animating, turning into 10 shadows and going crazy.
same thing with this is not League of Legends at all, but the Legend of Zelda movie that they're making is live action rather than animated. Why don't they make a Studio Ghibli sort of animated version of pick whatever fucking Zelda story you want, but make it animated rather than in person because whoever it is not going to live up to it, so it's just going to get shat on. It's going to be worse. Then like even if the story is good, even if it all is good, it's not what the like people want. For probably mostly any video game to turn it into live action. Now, if you do video games off of movies and books and things like that, totally different story because then you're going the inverse the other way. But yeah.
Yeah. I just want to close that with the Dota 2 TV show that they made. Like they had a reason of like why, like in the show, there's a reason for like why, this basically like Summer Strip is like a war. It happens. And like why it happens again and again and again. Like that was built in the show, like why you keep
Hmm.
playing these matches. And like obviously they did that, so I think Arcane was being produced for a long time. You're not just gonna copy them, but like they had like the lore of the game, like the reason for the game, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was cool.
That would be really cool to see. I would guess that they probably didn't want to or didn't think of it, but probably didn't want to just because they're trying to build out the world and separate the world from League of Legends is one of several things that are happening in their universe. That's why they're working on the MMO. That's why they're they had other Riot Forge games going, but they shut down Riot Forge. So, um, who knows? But that was the whole idea for they're expanding the lore and the world of it, so that League is just one part of it rather than the thing. But I don't know.
We'll get that MMO in 10 years, don't worry.
Yeah.
The MMO is not coming.
I don't think it'll happen either. They're gonna in probably like 5 years or so. They're gonna like there'll be an alpha version out there that's not gonna do well or something, and then it'll crash. Yeah. Yeah. Why do you guys think it's so hard for newer people to get into the game? Like, so other than getting dumpstered by people in norms when you pick it up, if you see a TV show or something, like, what are like some of the tangible reasons then that it's hard for people to pick it up?
I have an example.
Go for it.
World of Warcraft used to be a very, very, very popular game for older-ish people. And then Cataclysm was released, and they kind of dumbed the game down and made it more new player friendly. Well, they lost a lot of veteran players.
Right.
And then the next expansion came out called Mists of Pandaria.
I've heard of it.
Dumbed it down even more, and they lost 50% of the remaining people that were veterans from Cataclysm.
Whoa.
And I think League sees that, and they understand that if they dumb the game down and make it easier for new entry, they're going to lose too many veteran players, because veteran players is what drives League of Legends.
Yeah.
So I don't think the game's ever going to become new player friendly.
That's fair. Yep. Because they're not going to release a League 2, so.
No.
But that's how WoW fixed itself, is they released Vanilla
Classic.
WoW. And, WoW Classic. And so, like, that's how they reinvigorated their player base.
Yeah, they could definitely do League Classic.
I would totally play from
League.
Season 2, Season 1. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But they don't need that unless they hit the cycle that WoW followed.
Yeah, which I think like I would imagine they're starting to get closer. Like maybe this is only anecdotally, but I hear this from other people that I know, and I'm also seeing it that yeah, ranked still has a lot of people playing it, and norms and things do, but I know many people who've swapped over to just ARAMs now because they don't want to keep up and be bothered with paying attention to everything that's coming out. Plus, everyone's lives are getting busier as you get older. And then, yeah, they just they want to be able to do other things. And the pace at which League is changing has continued to increase as well. So it requires so much more effort to keep up with it that you're bleeding older players. And I'm not hearing or seeing like 12-year-olds hopping in here. I've never heard of, I have I don't have nieces and nephews directly, but my partner does, and I've never heard of them ever even bring up or even hear of League of Legends ever. Fortnite, totally. Call of Duty and other things, yes, absolutely. Nope, not League. Nothing. And that's when that's where some of us were playing it. Like I picked it up when I was 14.
Yeah, same.
Sorry, go. You had a stat.
Yes, I have some statistics. Sorry, that's a hard word. So, the League of Legends player base, right before the start of 2020, so COVID, it was right around 100 million.
Does this include China?
This is like everything but China.
Okay, got it.
So everywhere except China, because we can't get those numbers.
Yeah.
In 2022, it spiked at almost 200 million.
Okay.
This year, it's at 149 million.
Oh God, they've bled like 80 million in the last. And these are like active accounts, like once per month or something like that.
Yeah, and so the peak player base per day in 2020 was like 15 to 20 million,
Sure.
depending on the month.
Mhm.
Today, it's at 10.2.
Okay, so it's already actually dying then.
And then you look at their revenue numbers. This is where it gets kind of crazy. So in 2017 was their highest peak revenue at $2 million or $2 billion per year.
Okay.
It is currently at 1.8. It is higher than it's been every year since 2017. So what that tells me is they are forking no money into the game and just collecting all of it because they see that their game is slowly declining and they're trying to get as much money as they can as fast as they can.
It's a reasonable take on it, yeah.
And the reason for that is I have this last stat.
Ooh.
37% of the player base is 20 years or younger. The rest are 24 plus.
Yeah.
That's a
That's a graph. Yeah, that is unsustainable for, I imagine, most people who are gamers, probably by the time they're 35 or so, put down most, especially intensive video games like this.
Yeah, so 31 and over is only 4% of the player base, while 18 and younger is 10%.
Yeah, I mean, that's a demographic problem.
The largest player base is 24 to 30 at 59%.
I think all three of us are in there, yeah.
Yeah.
They're just gonna milk us until we all die, and
Yep.
then the game's gonna be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they have a population problem. They need to figure out a way to either not bleed people, which is just not realistic, or like try to actually find reasons why younger people would want to play the game and could learn it without an absurd barrier to entry. Which, when you have 169 champions, that's a pretty absurd barrier to entry, and how many items and the different interactions and everything. Which we all love all the complexity, but we've been playing this game for years to learn it all. But I remember first coming into the game, and there were maybe only 50 champions at the time, and it's still being overwhelming as hell. I can't even imagine 170 champions being, I mean, more than, it's like 3 times as many as there used to be, and I was overwhelmed at the time.
Yeah, because a new player can play the same champion for 100 games or more, and they're just still gonna find new interactions that either get them a kill and they didn't expect it, or get them killed, or just something random happens. Like,
Yeah, or even like, let's take away even the champion stuff, interactions with complexity, because they may end up choosing a champion where there's so many different possible interactions. Like, they could be like, "Ooh, I like this Viego guy. I'm gonna pick him up and he's gonna be the only champion I play." New champion, like, that's a terrible idea. But uh, think about like the different in-game scenarios where like we have to do different macro things depending on also your matchups and the other matchups in the game too. Uh, and the different items that would be situationally good or not good. Like, yeah, there's a lot of skill expression and all of that, but it also makes it so that new players are fucking screwed, because like we talk about this all the time on and off podcasts, that recommended item builds a lot of times are hot garbage. And those are purely based on just the most popular stuff. I mean, I've heard devs talk about that they removed the armor and MR shards from the rune system because people would just import their runes and not pay attention to it. So by default, like Orianna players, 80% of the time when they were facing Zed in mid lane would still have the MR shard, not the armor shard, because people aren't paying attention. Some of that is like lack of attention, lack of paying attention, but some of that is just like, yeah, there's an extra layer of complexity that some people don't want to fucking deal with or don't know about.
yeah, I feel like that honestly. I like that there was armor in MR, but I feel like that is good for newer players because I know my IRL friends, like they don't go through their runs.
Nope.
They pick recommended and they play the game, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, totally. It is newer player friendly. And rune, it is, I would say the rune system is one place when they've made it newer player friendly compared to the runes and mastery separate systems when we started playing years ago, with having to build your own rune pages and then also set your masteries.
Quintessences.
Whoa! So that's one area where it's better, but it's been better since like 2018 when they redid it all. 2017. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't know. Are there? I can't think of any others, but like, are there other emerging MOBAs that are pulling away from League right now? I think maybe part of it is the genre.
Wild Rift, but
Wild Rift doesn't have the high player numbers at all, I don't think.
I mean it's pretty high. They've already eclipsed $1 billion revenue.
It's honestly
And it
impressive.
released
I
last
would
year.
not have guessed
I
that.
had no idea. Um, let's see. As of when the hell is this posted? Not yet. This is live player
Wild Rift's a
count.
little older than that.
In the last 30 days, Wild Rift has had an average monthly. Okay, so like in the last 30 days, almost 15 million. The peak was 17.5 million in November of 2023, 17.3.
I mean, that's pretty good for a mobile game.
It's really good
Yeah,
for a
it
mobile
is.
game, yeah. I'm sure they're raking it in because mobile games are the most profitable.
Yeah. I don't. There's no other MOBAs that are pulling from League. That's for sure. It's more of just kind of a dying genre of games.
It
'Cause
seems like it.
it's just such a time commitment, really. I mean, you think one game of League can last on average 40 minutes. When you go in with queue time, you add champion select, and then play time.
Yeah. Let me see. Right now, the average game, average game duration, it's actually highest in Iron, which that makes sense, but uh, is anywhere from 30 to 25 minutes, depending on the tier you're at. And yeah, that doesn't include queue time of, let's just say, 2 minutes on average. So let's say we're looking at like the top here. So Iron players are in an average game of 30.5 minutes. Then you add 2 minutes of queue time, so you're at 32. Then you add, let's say, another 30 seconds for your client to load and you to be ready. You're at 33. How long does it take to get through Champ Select in general? I'd say 5 minutes.
It can take a while. I'd say on average it's probably like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Okay, so
Also, those Iron games would be painful as well.
yeah, right. So even separate the actual games themselves, but yeah, you're looking at like 35. This is dead average. We're looking at like 35, 36
And
minutes.
that is without a dodge. That's without a leave.
And that is with, yeah, also the load time too. Probably add another minute or two of in-game, like to load as well into the game. Yeah, you're talking, that's a long time. So if an adult only has, 2 hours to themselves after they deal with their kids or whatever in the evening, like, and maybe 2 hours is generous for a lot of people, then they could get maybe 4 games in if they're running at above average paces and they're not getting up to go to the bathroom or talk to anybody or anything like that. Yeah.
Not very common.
No. And like, I know I'll have that time a lot of the time, but I don't plan on having kids, and my partner and I both need our own alone time away from one another pretty frequently. But like, everyone's situation is different, so with just this, how long it takes for this, it doesn't work to play 100 games doing that. You're gonna need like a couple months for the average person to get into it if they're not in high school.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you play a single player game. I know that they're nowhere near comparable, but you play. I mean, I've been playing Cyberpunk. I get it after 15 hours, and I can pick it. The sessions can be as short or as long as I want since it's a single player game. And there's massive leave penalties to this. Meanwhile, like, Call of Duty, you pick it up. It's very simple. Not saying it's a great game and it's a totally different genre, but you pick it up and it's totally simple. If you leave a multiplayer game, who cares? There's like, they don't care. There's not a problem with that. You don't get penalized for it, so then you feel like you have to be there the whole time. There's just, you're not going to get your full XP points, but you're not going to get penalized for leaving specifically.
Yeah. With the MOBA, it's just tough because like in games, like when you're behind, sometimes like there's just nothing you can do.
No, there's
especially
not.
if you had a bad teammate or something. Because like in a shooter, like CS:GO for Valorant, you died a couple times, but then you just have a gun anyways, get a headshot, everything's fine. Doesn't matter. Oh, the league, you just get behind and it just feels so hard. So tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
The lows of League are probably the lowest of any game.
Yeah, they're rough. They're rough.
I mean, it'll have you question your existence sometimes.
It will.
Yeah.
Like, man, I just played a 45-minute game. We were winning the whole time, and then my top side just got caught out and we lost. It's like, well, you just feel like you completely wasted 45 minutes because you don't get anything for it.
Or like
that was my first.
or your computer blue screens and you're back in 3 minutes, but the game is completely changed and it's over.
Yeah.
Yep, just too far behind it. My first game this morning, I was 2-0-2. It was going great. Heckram game. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, we just had one bad fight and one of my teammates was doing pretty poor and then the game was just over. It's like, all right, it's fun time, guys.
Yeah, I could see, like, I'm looking at the timeline. There's like at 16 minutes you killed Rift Herald, and then Rek'Sai got a pentakill.
Didn't even know that.
It looks like, well, okay, wait, maybe he didn't. He killed Yuumi and then killed Draven and killed you and Anivia all in the 17-minute mark. So he killed you, Draven, and Yuumi all in the same spot, and then went top lane and killed Anivia. And then a minute later, he killed Draven again by mid lane, and then Yuumi died that same time. So they both died within the span of. They died twice in the span of a minute.
Yeah,
minute,
my
minute
bot
and a
lane
half. That
was
was
ahead
probably
and then
it.
they started running it down, Mad Draven style. So
Yeah, that was probably what happened there then.
He won, baby.
Yeah, that was.
never forget.
Meanwhile, yeah, that Rek'Sai finished 11-2. Yeah, you got a triple kill.
Early invade, level 1 invaded him, pushed him off his camps. It was great. Burnt his flash. Ooh, great start.
He's
Good night.
definitely not a silver player though, like it has here. Because that game you were in, the Akali was Masters. So, and the mid laner, the Yasuo was D1, like right now in solo queue. So,
It was pretty funny. The Anivia on my team was like, I counter Akali, let's swap. They swapped and she got solo killed twice.
that's amazing. Oh, also, Anivia, dude, I would have said fuck no to the swap, I guess, but it's a level 20 account, and her name was Please Use Brain. Oh, man.
So any other ideas on longevity for this fantastic game?
I think at the end of the day, like, it sounds pretty doom and gloom, and I think that's partially because, I mean, I've been playing the game since beta, so it's kind of just run its course for me. So obviously, I think we're going to have a little bit of a more negative-sided mindset.
Sure.
But at the same time, like, League's not going anywhere anytime soon. Like, I still think I would give the game at least 5 more years of, like, true viability before I ever really question it truly dying. But I think from our perspective, we can see that we're at the top of the hill and we're starting to go over the other side.
Yeah. Right. We're at the point where, if we put it in terms of human health perspective, we're starting to get our prostates checked. We're starting to get the mammograms more regularly. We're starting to get all of that.
I love that, Eric.
I mean, tell me that's not a good analogy, right?
No, it's perfect.
Yeah. Then, at some point we're going to start to see, probably in the next 5 years or so, it won't go. But even then, when it goes, like when it's no longer League, it's just League, then, it's still going to have a few million people playing it. Like Smite, as an example. I've never played it. I've heard of it. It's another MOBA, and it has, like, every month, it has about 2 million active players. Like, League is going to have, I bet, I don't know, 50 million in 5 years or so.
I doubt they ever drop below 50 and without, like, just never maintaining the game.
Oh yeah, it's just a cash cow at this point for them.
Yeah.
Yep. Unless they're moving on to new IP or they're shutting it down for old systems or something. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, unless they kill the game, I don't think the game will ever actually die in terms of, like, what we mean by that.
So you think if
Yeah,
30 years from now they're still having developers work on it and make changes and new champions and stuff, people will still be playing the game?
Oh yeah, Eric, we're still going to be alive at that point. So
Okay, so I guess there'll at
I
least be
don't.
3 players.
I think like when I talked about those numbers, like the average league player is probably like 24, 25 roughly. So
Yeah.
like, let's say they age out in like 5 to 7 years to where they're just not playing the game anymore. Then that 18 to 23 group, it's only like 10% of the player base. So
Yeah.
like, so what's 10% of 150? 15?
15, yeah.
Yeah. So I think those would be probably the numbers you'll see in the next 10 years.
Sure. I think that's realistic. Yeah, I don't have many other ideas other than they need to actually work on actively building out the world and making people care about the characters and I think that would work for me as someone who actually likes the lore. Some people don't. I totally get it. But that's also how you would get people in, is that they see Arcane and they want to go through, go play if there's a MOBA, or go and do something that's not so intense to pick it up. Like they had and introduce other genres. So like there's 3 other games that League has released that you can all buy on like everyone can buy on the Steam store. There's the Nunu game, which is totally not for everybody. Totally get it. Echoes of Nunu, I think, or Echoes of something. Song of Nunu. Song of Nunu. Yeah, that's it. Song of Nunu. Yeah, Song of Nunu. Then there's also the Ruin King game, which I haven't played, but I've heard is really good and really cool with the story. And it's also like a turn-based combat, so you're going to get a lot of people who see that, get it on sale, and play it, and they're like, I like this. So there are other, and then there'll be other recommended games or something. Then there's the Echo, the platformer, which I have not played because I don't really like intense platformers, but they do have their own dedicated fan base, and it looks like it's good.
bring back Rad Forge.
Yeah, I don't know why they killed it. I'm guessing it's a revenue thing that they didn't, or maybe something went really wrong internally that some lawyers were like, shut this shit down and do it yourselves instead. But I don't know why. Like, it seemed like they were building up Riot Forge and then all of a sudden they closed it. Because outsourcing games is a good idea on paper. Lending your IP as long as you're then, and they were controlling the branding of it all. The fighting game, I think, is supposed to come out. Or was it canceled?
No, it's still coming out.
Okay.
2XKO.
Yeah. Why that name though? I don't even know what that means.
Because you can have 2 characters and it's a fighting game, so KO.
Okay.
Not gonna have a League of Fighters.
That's worse than like Mortal Kombat has like a good name and it's very simple, but it's not dumb. Like you get what it is.
2XKO is like literally, it's because you can like tandem fight. Like you have 2, you can switch.
Tag in, tag
The
out.
name just describes what the game is.
Yeah,
It's not a name really. It's just this is what it is.
It's awful.
It looks terrible. Yeah, actually, I see U.GG already
That should
has
just be the
a
code name.
2XKO space. Yeah, that was what, Project L, I think. But yeah, and they've only confirmed so far. Like they've been working on this for. I remember seeing this in their 10-year celebration.
10-year. Yeah.
And I remember seeing it, and they had like Darius and Ari and Echo all there. And now I see the 2XKO champions that are confirmed are Braum, Yasuo, Alawi, Echo, Darius, Ari, Jinx. That's it. There's 7. What have they been doing for 4 years?
Trying to figure out how to get the MMO to work.
I guess so. They did reboot the MMO. They deleted everything and restarted. But, Jesus.
I mean, I don't envy them. The gaming industry is a tough one to be in.
It definitely is. But when you've got all that juicy 10-cent money, they have the money to do what they need. Especially when they're pulling in like almost what you said, it's like $1.7 billion a year. They can they have, I'm sure that the devs that work there, maybe we don't agree with them sometimes, like what they choose to do, the balance team, but the devs themselves are good at their jobs. So what's happening?
Just raking in the money.
Yeah. But if they introduce other games that would allow us to experience the world more. Imagine like not even an MMO, but like put an open world exploration like a Fallout style game in Runeterra. That'd be so cool. That thing would fucking blow up. It takes a few years to make, but they could have been working on it and had it out before this 2XKO is going to come out if they actually put a dev team into it. And you don't even need it to be that large because like the Fallout New Vegas dev team was not that big. Yeah, that game was buggy and stuff when it came out, but if they gave him 6 more months, it would have ironed it out. But still,
Best Fallout ever.
it is the best Fallout ever. Tiz, I have seen that we're getting closer to probably getting a confirmation of Fallout 5 soon.
Fallout 4 sucked, so I won't play it.
I saw they decided the location.
Yeah, is it actually announced? Is it New York City?
I don't think it was announced. They just said that they had it set in stone.
Okay, so we don't know what it is, but they know what it is now. Got it. Okay.
The TV show was good.
TV show was great, and they're working really hard on season 2, and I'm excited, but also scared with where they're going to go to Vegas for it.
Yeah. It's going to be cool. I
Yep.
liked it a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've been going for a bit, so I'd say we could wrap up. Unless there's anything else that you guys want to talk about and gripe.
I guess just a final note. Remove Rylai's, of course.
Wait, Colin, I can't tell. Do you actually like Rylai's or not? Is it a healthy item for the game? I can't tell.
I hate it. I hate being slowed by Rand for 20 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, I had this bug that I need to bring up that I can't.
That was rough.
Yeah. Okay. So you were you in the game you were watching? I don't remember, but
Yeah, I was in it. Yeah.
Oh Christ! Let me see if I can find it. I was playing Vel'Koz.
I was playing Kled.
Yeah, I don't even remember where the game was.
It was 3 days ago.
3?
Yeah, you.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
Aurelion Sol.
Oh, this was such bullshit, Brendan. Let me tell you. So do you remember that there used to be a bug where Elder would proc off of itself, and then people would just slowly burn down and execute? Yeah, I had that happen to me. So Aurelion Sol, like they had Elder, and I was quite fed, but like Aurelion Sol hit me with he ulted, and it was the big one, but I was at full health, and then over the span of 30 seconds, it kept so the guy had Leandries, but Leandries and Aurelion Sol were procking just the one spellcast too. Were procking off of with Elder back and forth, and I slowly burned down and got executed over 30 seconds. It was the biggest bullshit ever. Everyone I was like, did anybody see that? And I think a couple of people were like, yeah, what the hell was that?
I just saw the aftermath because I was in their Nexus turrets with Gled.
Oh yeah, you were. You went way too deep. You still won that game somehow. Well, okay.
We were throwing so hard for fun.
Oh yeah, we threw for fun.
I didn't.
And then came back.
Yeah, I could have ended 3 times and didn't.
Yep. Yep. Also, sorry, I just saw that I had a Jace game after that, and I totally forgot. But I played a game with a Jace earlier, and I need to complain about this for a second. So it was on my other account because I was like, oh, let me just play on that one. But he was playing. So he played Jace. He went Grasp, and I think he was facing Scion, or Cassante, or some like Juggernautish bruiser. He built Ghostblade first, and then built Fimbulwinter. And oh no, it was Aatrox top. Sorry. He then built Fimbulwinter and Merktreads as well, and they had all physical damage on the other team. And then he bought an Executioners, and this was, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through the game at that point, and he was yeah. Let me see actually what it was. So, yep, this was it. Okay. Item bill or post game. Yeah, he went right. So he had Yomu's, and then he was sitting on tier 1 boots and a chain vest and a giant's belt for like 10 minutes. Then he upgraded to Merktreads and then built Fimbulwinter, and then he ended up buying an Executioners then. But at that point, we're 25 minutes into the game. You don't need executioners anymore against Aatrox, who's 11-5. Like that doesn't do anything now. That did something at the beginning of the game. Get that thing early. I was genuinely curious. I was like, Jace, can you explain to me the thought process, please? He did not have a thought process.
Yeah, there
The
wasn't
thought
one.
process comes from Flandre in the LPL. He's doing the grass tank, Jarvan or Jace.
Okay, well that's the problem then.
Yeah, he's the only person in the world doing it.
This guy was in season 13 and season 12, he was diamond. So he's not bad. He played another game of it 4 hours ago and went Jace, Unending Despair, Deadman's Plate. He was working on Fimbulwinter and he had Merc Treads. So yeah, full tank. And he lost again.
Strange. I will say one more thing on the Rylai's. Great debate. There's two solutions. One, remove Rylai's, or bring back Frozen Mallet and change Serelda's to where it's always a slow, but not just when they're below 50% HP.
I didn't know it was when they're
hated that
only
change.
50%. I thought they actually put it back.
If they did, then I should probably
Let me look.
No, it's still
use it
50%.
again.
I built it the other day.
I feel so bad that it's like that.
Yeah, dealing ability damage to an enemy that is at or below 50% of their max health slows them by 30% for 1 second. Yep.
Yeah, two conditions: abilities, and then it's also below 50%. Just strange.
Yeah. So an auto doesn't work, huh? Yeah, I miss old Cyrilda's, where it was just always slowing.
I haven't bought it since the change.
Also, Yorick ghouls should not proc the slow on it.
Your rules should be changed somehow. Those things are strange.
Restore old Yorick. I miss old Yorick. Colin, do you know what old Yorick was? Were you playing back then?
I don't know.
Okay, so
It's
old
not.
Yorick, he had, I don't remember what his passive was, but his Q, W, and E would all summon 3 different ghouls. And so his Q would also give him an auto reset like it does now and extra damage, but his Q would do that, and then it release a ghoul that would run at you and do some damage, but it was not very tanky. Then there was another one where you could put it in an area. Think of a Vex E where you could throw it down. It would do some damage and it would slow them and continue to slow them as it's attacking. And these would have a bit of health, but they would also have a timer before they died. And then there was another one where you click it on a champion and it spawns on top of that champion. It does damage and it heals you for a percent of the damage that it does the whole time. So he basically became a sort of a drain tank, and he was popular in pro play back then. Oh, and then also that was so much fun. And then his ultimate, you would cast it on either yourself or an ally, and for 15 seconds or something, it would give you some movement speed. And if that person, whether it's yourself or the allied champion, die, they're reanimated, and with a timer that then they would instantly die. But if they happen to get a kill, then they're brought back. So it's almost a bailout in a way. But you could do that with anyone. You could have a Cassiopeia who's your hyper carry. You ult her, and then if she dies, she comes back. She just instantly transforms to oh yeah, I'm alive again, full health again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
What?
I miss old Yorick. Okay. Yeah, we've been going for an hour and a half.
I'm all set.
Yeah, next episode we will have not really sure what we're gonna do. Probably talk about what we what the podcast has meant to us and why we've enjoyed it. But yeah, because this is our second to last episode as currently planned. So let me do the general normal sign off. We're not going to be doing a Patreon, so don't worry about that. If you have any feedback for us, leave it in the feedback thread in our Discord server, which can also be found in the episode notes. Also, we have community nights that started every Tuesday, 7:15 Eastern time and last for as long as people are on. Please come join us for those. They're a lot of fun. I will still be running those even when we're done with the podcast. The community will still be around. We're just not going to be doing audio recordings anymore. We may do the occasional one, but highly doubtful. So with that, we're going to call it for episode 867. Thank you all, as always, for tuning in, and we will see you next time.